So let's slowly begin. And good morning, everyone, or welcome. You may be watching this maybe some other time. If not this morning, it's okay too. My name is Nevin, and I'm a qigong, yoga, and mindfulness instructor. And I'm doing a combination of those. And in this class, we're going to be doing um, qigong and yoga combined movements and practices, which may include sometimes just tapping into the body, sometimes breathing, sometimes using yoga mudras. And so it's going to be a combination of those. And if you are, just a second, I think I need to press something here. And if you are practicing one of those, you may find it a bit kind of like strange at the beginning. But I hope after this class, you'll be convinced that it's kind of nice to combine them because they're both really rich in terms of what they offer for self-care, good self-care. And I like to combine them. And as my own personal practice also has evolved over time, I've been a practitioner of yoga for many years. And then in the more recent years, I'm doing a lot of qigong, less of yoga, for different reasons, because also I'm studying Chinese medicine at the Virginia University of Integrative Medicine. That's, I think, really shaping my practices a lot these days. So as we begin, we'll just begin with some kind of awareness of the body, and then we'll do something special today. You probably know that today is the Earth Day, and we'll see how we can really connect with the sense of Earth, like around us, as well as like Mother Earth that's kind of underneath, more like the soil, with some practices. So as we begin, just take a moment to bring your hand to around your chest and just like massage or kind of rub, to have a sense of kind of connection with your own heart or of your own body. Just like feel as if like you're warming your chest and heart area. And if there is like any sense of stagnation, stuckness, or heaviness there, we're going to slowly help these kind of energies to dissolve. And now slowly bring your hands on your side, moving downwards, as we're going to be connecting with the earth, Mother Earth. And a lot of times we are too much like heavy on the top, too much linear thinking, too much brain work. We're going to kind of take things deeper down to the earth to feel ourselves grounded. And bring your hands around your like sides of your legs. It's almost like a massage. And feel your knee joint. Give it a nice massage because we're going to be working with the joints, and a few of like standing postures may require some extra work for your knees. And now as you feel yourself seated here, I'm sitting on a yoga block actually, and there's also a blanket, so my hips are a bit elevated so that my knees are below the hip bones. It's kind of good to have this alignment because that's going to help the pelvis to stay in its neutral position instead of tilting back or forward. So when it is more aligned, the spine is going to be easily kind of able to stay straight. And now with our hands, we're going to do something. So become aware of your ring finger and then the thumb, and feel them touching, just the kind of tips that are touching. The other three fingers are loose relatively. They don't have to be in a specific format or so. But if your hands reach down to the earth, bring your three fingers, or maybe mostly like those two fingers especially, let them touch to the earth or the ground or kind of your base. And if your hands don't reach all the way down, it's not completely normal because some of us have shorter arms. Just place these fingers onto your bone, onto your thighs, so that you can almost like get connected with the bones in your thighs. Your hands, as I said, either on the ground or on your legs. You can close your eyes if it feels comfortable. You don't have to. But now imagine you have something almost like through your fingertips, and you are going to connect with the earth underneath. Deep kind of soil really almost like a mother in a way, really giving, helping us to in a way survive, nourish, feed ourselves in this world. Imagine yourself connecting with the earth. This is a yoga mudra, a hand gesture from yoga, and these can be, some of them can really work nicely if you kind of know the rationale behind it. It may really help you to shift your mood, for example. And this mudra is good for connecting to the earth. It brings like stability, a sense of groundedness. And as you are staying here, really relax your lower body, like legs, and feel them almost like heavy and sinking down to the earth. Spine is upright, spine is rising, but through your fingers, you are connecting with the earth. And as you are doing this, take your attention now to your breath. And when you are breathing in, imagine you are really taking in from the earth. And as you are breathing out, feeling your roots getting deeper down to the earth. Feel almost this sense of support with the earth. And there is almost like an affirmation that can go nicely with this one. And it is when you are breathing in, you're just taking nice kind of breath. And then when you are breathing out, you're saying, my roots run deep into the core of the living earth. And we're going to do 10 cycles of breath here. My roots run deep into the core of the living earth. Allowing yourself really feel grounded. It doesn't have to be exactly this affirmation, maybe just like I'm connecting with the earth, or my roots run deep into the core of the living earth. Really try to imagine or kind of suspend any like, oh, what are we doing kind of things, but just give it a try to really see how it's gonna feel. I remember on my personal life when I really had like, oh my God, I'm falling through and there is no ground underneath. That was one of the things that I practiced. I really felt myself like sit on the soil, earth, and just kept breathing. And things started to slowly kind of shift, and then I felt myself really grounded and kind of could go back. But it was very helpful to have a sense of connection with the earth. So I don't know where you are, but do 2 more nice connected breaths. My roots run deep into the core of the living earth. And as we will slowly change, start to move, open your eyes if they were closed. And then we're gonna move, or if you have anything underneath, you can take it away, or you can even take your blanket out to the side, or if you're using something similar, if you have any yoga blocks, also put that to the side as well. And just to have this sense of connection, sense of groundedness also, from the yoga side, they would think of it as like really base chakra in a way. And in Kundalini yoga, they have all sorts of like funny stuff, but one of the things that they would do actually to invoke this sense of groundedness, it is related to our way of being on earth, you know, feeling that, yeah, we are here, we are living, and we are okay. I know there's like tons of other things that doesn't seem to be okay, or especially in terms of how we are kind of relating to the earth, we're not doing the right things, but despite all of those things, we are okay in this moment. So just taking a moment to recognize this, bring your hands on your side, on your back, and your legs, your ankles are crossed here, and we're going to be pressing the hands down and lifting the hips, and then kind of dropping our hips down. And we're going to do this also several more times to have this sense of like real groundedness. I hope this really works for you. It's not really like a big core work. If you have yoga blocks also, you can also place your hands on them and then do this. But just do a few more times. We're doing some form of like shaking like that we do in qigong, but this is really like deep kind of base chakra activation. And let's do that 2 more times. And then release. Just feel again how things are feeling, how kind of the body maybe is feeling like, oh my God, what's happening? Just stay with me. We're going to do one more thing. Now, this time moving into qigong and more like traditional Chinese medicine side. The way their chakra system is different. So we're going to jump into something else. So for them, the connection with the earth happens a lot of times through this bubbling spring point, which is like if you measure from the bottoms of your toes down to the kind of heel, it's going to be 1/3 of the way, almost like in the middle of the balls of your feet. And find that point with your thumb. We're going to just massage that point. That's also a point that's good to massage, like in the evenings, for example. It helps the energy to flow downwards, and it kind of helps from the top heavy part, brings things downwards to help the body to relax a little bit. And it's also overall good for anxiety because kidneys are related to fear and anxiousness. So just massaging this point would be nice. And now from this point right under your feet, take your thumb like from the middle towards your ankle. You can also use maybe other fingers if that feels comfortable. And this is a nice massage. Again, along the same lines, this is all like kidney meridian. So we're opening that sense of connection, and kidney is related with the water. And we're going to be doing today both like earth, soil, and maybe water connection, and the sky, of course. It's all part of the nature. And now slowly, just straighten your legs here, and this is going to be our like hamstring massage, hamstring stretch. So one leg is straight fully as much as possible. The other one is bent, maybe a little bit. And just play here. Your hands are on your back, on your kind of behind your hips, and your fingers are facing towards the front. So just like straighten, really activate your heel, pushing, feel all the like back of the leg is active. And then the other one. Do that a few more times. Just stretching mostly to activate the hamstrings, the back of the legs. You can even engage a little bit of your quads also, actually, as you can maybe have your spine also lifting actively. And now slowly bring your feet more like in front. Your legs are bent. And then just dropping the legs side to side to activate a little bit of the hip joint area. And feel as we are moving, dropping the legs side to side, there is space between my feet. So the opposite knee can almost like just touch down. And then to the other way. If you have any spine-related issues, osteoporosis or so, please be careful with these. And next time when we turn to one side, stay there and maybe take both hands onto side. And again, osteoporosis, spine-related issues, just stay on the side. But those of you who would like to go for a deeper twist, you can turn yourself a little bit backwards. Gaze maybe towards the back wall or maybe all the way out towards the side. Keep the spine still long, so feel a sense of almost like lengthening in your belly as well as a twist. And with your next inhalation, turn yourself back to center and then turn to the opposite side. All through this practice, please make sure that you are connected with your own body, becoming aware of any sensations, and if there is any pain or so, please adjust, modify, and don't follow me if you feel anything that doesn't feel right in your body. And now slowly, with your next inhalation, turn yourself back to the center. And now from here, let's just, again, on the mat, let's come into tabletop position. Hands, wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. We're not going to stay here very long, but just to help the spine also kind of come into this play by doing the cat-cow twist. So inhaling, lengthening the front of the body. Exhaling, rounding. You can make it really big, this move. Again, if you have any spine-related issues, don't do this rounding too big. But otherwise, make it like organically, you're lengthening the front, really opening the fronts of your vertebra, and then the back. You can even include some hips circling movement here and make it really like organically nice thing to do at this time of the day. You can move your hips, you do some rounding for the spine, but have a sense of in your own way, because there's no perfect way of doing this. The way you are doing will be the perfect way. Make it in such a way that all of the joints, the idea here, we're combining shoulder joints and hip joints, as well as knees and maybe elbows and wrists are supporting, and the spine in between. So we're kind of finding the right interplay of all these joints so that things start to flow when we move. We are warming up the joints a little bit, as well as especially for the spine, naturally things are kind of, okay, now it's time to move, time to create some space, some time to feel elongated instead of this compressed spine that we tend to hold ourselves, or these forward head postures. Many of us are kind of not paying attention. So let's do that just like a few more moments. You can also add maybe sometimes like when you exhale, you can draw your belly in to activate deeper core muscles as well. Maybe come all the way down to like child pose and come into a stretch. So finding your way and making that as like the way. Normally it doesn't work in life, no? People would not agree to our ways, but this one is like your own personal practice and make it work for you. And now slowly coming into the center, find neutral spine and almost like still position. And when you are ready, step forward with one foot and just take a moment here. We're going to do the same thing to open or activate the front of the other leg as well. So just lift that knee and just play with the heel, pushing back and then coming more like neutral position. So front and back. Just move a few rounds like that. You could also use yoga blocks if you have them handy, but feel what's happening in front of your back leg. And now engage your leg in such a way that you're almost like squeezing the muscles to the bones and release. Do that one more time. And then as you exhale, slowly release, change, bring this leg back, and then step forward with the other leg. Just simple kind of lunge prep almost. And while your hands are on the ground, you can also, by the way, make a fist with your hands too. Sometimes, again, the fingers don't feel like the right thing to do, or you have the blocks or something under your hand. You could use water bottles or canned food for that purpose. And then now lift that knee again and just playing with the heel, pushing back and front. Waking up these big front thighs. After we did some, maybe for the hamstrings as well. And when you are ready from here, we will slowly step forward. So just become aware of your core muscles and then maybe spring forward, or maybe like one small step at a time, bringing yourself into this deep bent knee position. And your hands, I'm just gonna turn this way. Your hands are on your thighs. And just a few more rounds of kind of playing with the activation of the legs. Lift one heel and then the other one. Just the heels, your hands are on your thighs to help, to support. But feel your knees not passing in front of the toes. They go a little bit to the front, but don't let them kind of go too much. It will put too much pressure maybe over around the knee joint. And now slowly release your heels down. You're still in Utkatasana, this chair pose, imaginary chair pose. And you will start to feel like, oh my God, the heat is building here, no? And now reach forward with your hands, engage your position again, engage your belly here, and turning this into a twist as you take one hand towards your back, sinking low and opening to the side, and then back to the center again. And again, for those of you with spinal issues, just open your hand out to the side. But those of you who would like to open it back, go back as much as possible. Maybe if I do it from this way, my arm can go back, it doesn't have to. And then to the other side. And we're still staying here, do it one more time. I know this is a lot of work for the legs, but we have really big bones in our legs, and bones represent the Mother Earth in our body elementally. Now bring your hands to the front. Take a break at least, partial though. We're still in this position. Now can you just start to lift one foot and then the other one? So it becomes now like a combination of qigong, I mean this is mostly qigong side, where we lift one foot and then the other one. But feel this as a kind of balance challenge, but also at the same time of like full awareness of our kind of standing foot and maybe connection with the earth again. And then just do that one side and then the other. Belly is very strong here. Spine is elongated. Don't allow the spine to kind of round like that. And then slowly press both feet firmly down. Feel yourself really strong. And now open your arms out to the sides. With your inhalation, reach up high. And as you exhale, slowly bring your hands, one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest. And enjoy. Savor this release. After a lot of maybe effort, we forget to savor the ease part. So give yourself an opportunity to do that. Allow the breath to self-regulate. Maybe invite a smile, or maybe like take a big breath and then sigh it out. However it feels kind of right for you to connect with this very moment. And as you exhale, slowly release. And then from here, again, with the idea of upper body, lower body coordination, let's do something with this, just like swaying the arms side to side. This is available both in qigong and yoga. And we're going to be starting in a way, so feet are about shoulder width apart, but with our gaze facing downwards. That's how we will start, and then we will slowly kind of change this move. So arms swinging side to side, and you are gazing towards your heel. Again, relatively gentle twist for the body, but it's really good for the spine, as you can imagine. We are helping things to also between right and left brain hemisphere harmonized, hopefully. And you're gazing down, and feet are just facing towards the front. They're not changing really, mostly like upper body. And now slowly we will just almost like extend this a little bit more. So start to open your arms out to the side and then add the heel lift. And feel your arms more like around the heart and chest area, tapping. Go slow if you want. If this doesn't feel right, don't do it. And now we will slowly take it even more, like arms reaching up and then to the other side. Both arms are moving in the same direction this time. And heel is lifted. And we will slowly change this by slowing it down. So both arms moving together, and you can even add a sinking down in between. Reaching as if you are carrying a ball between your hands. So this becomes like gazing at the moon. Lifting, slowly moving, feeling the changes, like maybe reaching one side all the way, or the extension in the body, and then sinking down, maybe feeling your legs very active, and then reaching to the other side. Let's do one towards each side. So coming all the way down and turning up, and then sinking down and reaching, and imagine you're seeing the moon, and then slowly coming in the middle, bring your feet a little bit closer. And as we keep moving with this idea of honoring the earth, we're going to be doing something like one of the foundational moves of qigong, gathering the energy from the Mother Earth underneath, and then the sky, and it's called just gather actually. So the move is very simple. So with your hands, you can sink your hips a little bit backwards as you're doing this. Reach to the front with the idea or intention of you're really almost like touching to the earth, and you're gathering from the earth energy, and your hands cross somewhere around the heart, and then you are opening your hands out to the side. Now you're collecting, gathering from the sky. And then exhale here. So when you inhale, you gather from the earth, and exhale here in the middle. And then now inhale, gather from the sky. We're going to do this a few more rounds, so just find a pace that works for you, and have I don't know, some imagery or some intention, however you like to think of it. The Mother Earth has the energy of yin, grounding and heavy, slow, stable. The sky is different. It's more like a yang energy, active, elusive, likes to go like all around, and we human beings in between. And we have both of them, both yin and yang. And the whole of our life is trying to find a balance between these two energy, activity and rest, effort and ease. Again, one of the fundamental things in Yoga Sutras. How do we harmonize? How do we balance? This is the whole life, I think. All of our efforts are trying to find this balance. And as we are finding this connection, really feel this sense of also us human beings, like in between, really connected and really in between the earth and the sky. And this whole earth or biosphere that we are living in, it's not only represented in us, but there are trees, there are animals, there's so many other things you know already. And just taking in, gathering from the sky. One more time. Let's do two more actually. As you are doing this, you may gently also imagine maybe these points in your palms that are active, and you're almost like sucking in the energy from the earth. And then collecting from the sky. And now slowly just taking a moment in between, as you bring the hands, palms in front of the belly, this lower energy center, lower dantian. Just taking a moment as we transition. And now we're going to do something, those of you who are coming to Monday classes would remember this. Again, this connection of sky, water, and everything else. And then just bring your hands into the front. And then open the arms up to the sky. Touching the water. Imagine your hands really go into the water, and then you look up to the sky. And when you fold forward, bring your torso, your spine still kind of lengthening. Your hands are reaching, almost like scooping some water with your hands, and then opening the arms out and looking at the sky. Touching the water. And looking at the sky as you really imagine. I mean, this is a great thing to do, by the way, outdoors. And if you have any kind of lake or some river around, you can just go and do this one. It just feels so nice. I do this quite a lot actually in our area. And sometimes people would look at me, but then they just smile and they kind of feel like, oh, someone is doing something weird, but it looks nice. So feel free to really do that. It's great time to be outdoors these days, gazing to the sky. And then slowly we're gonna just change this for the next one, gathering, and then opening, looking at the sky, step forward, step backward maybe, and then again stepping with the other foot to the front. As we move back and forth, your knees, front knee bends deeply here, back leg is relatively kind of soft, and as you lift up, back leg becomes more active again, as you can tell, and the front toes can lift as well, they don't have to. So down, touching to the water, up to the sky. Especially if there are kind of nice clouds out, it feels really nice. And even when you really kind of feel this sense of, oh, am I really touching the water and so on, you start to become really more aware of like all the other things around us, you know, the whole earth with its trees and water and birds and all the other animals. You feel like part of the family in a way, which we are. Again, sinking down, lifting up. Let's do two more. Big, nice opening, looking at the sky. And then reach up high, open, and then slowly bring the hands in front of the chest. And when you find this kind of stable position, bring your foot back. And just take a moment here to become aware again, changes. We moved front and back, up and down, and now we're kind of stable. Really become aware. Your feet, your knees rather, they're unlocked. So just make sure that you have slight bend in your knees. And now from here, we're going to move into something that's also related to purifying, clarifying our inner space and claiming, in a way, our presence in the world. And your feet are going to be maybe slightly open out to the side. And this would be similar to like the yoga's goddess pose, but we're going to be doing it in a repetitive movement, including those movements as well. And so when you are ready, you can slowly bring your hands towards your chest and inhale here. And as you exhale, pressing your arms out to the side, sinking low, and then bring the hands back to the chest. And then arms move up, you're pushing your hands actively with your exhalation, knees sink down. And then hands come towards the center, this time towards the front. Pushing the hands as you exhale, knees bend. The depth of your squat is completely up to you. Go slow. It doesn't have to be all the way down. Maybe it's just like a gentle, tiny bit of a squat. Just manage your energy. And now we're going to repeat this same thing. So the idea in this one, really, as you can tell, we're kind of creating, cleaning, purifying our space. And with our own let's say inner awareness. And the idea here with the hands, we are doing most of the clearing, let's say, kind of, this is my space, you know, like birds, when they sing, they make a lot of noise. But for us, it's like, I'm almost like imagining that this is my space, you know, and I'm kind of trying to both protect myself or also like set some boundaries, maybe for others and maybe for myself. Especially this one is internal stuff. And what happens when we add the leg part, it becomes almost like a sense of building this inner connection and a confidence. As you can tell, our legs are really working hard. There is something in this pose, like actually, there is research showing the effects of the goddess pose, especially when you hold this pose for 2 minutes, self-confidence really builds up. So I'll just continue. So on your, you organize the pace according to your own breath maybe, and the depth of the pose also. But have this sense of really both clarifying and building inner strength. And when you push the hands to the front, imagine you are also doing the same thing for your back. We're not doing the back part. And this one, that go when the hands go downwards. This is more about like our internal stuff. And these are like external. We're kind of saying no to things that are coming from outside. And the one that goes to the top is like anywhere, from like anywhere around the world it could come. And then to the front, it's a bit like maybe future oriented, as well as the back part. We're assuming that we're cleaning. And this one may have some kind of an affirmation, kind of cutting the cord of inner complexity. Sometimes we make things just like too big out of nothing. And let's do this one last time. And we're going to spend some time with the hands pushing downwards, especially. Because a lot of times, we all need to work with the internal stuff. Sometimes we cannot control it, what's happening, what's coming to us, what is kind of life throwing at us. But maybe we can do something for the internal world. Maybe noticing how we are relating to things, and then cutting the cord with complexity. We're just going to be doing this one for a few more rounds. Sinking down and saying, oh no, this is really not the right way to deal with this. Feel yourself building that strength slowly. It doesn't have to be like a big core work or big leg work, but have this sense of like, it's not willpower, but I'm not sure what it is, but something internally, maybe strengthening your wiser part, let's say. We all know a lot of times when we do the wrong things, we know the right thing, but we still don't do it for different reasons, of course. But the idea here, just let go of that one. Maybe stay with like simple, basic ground of awareness, and then just keep doing or keep saying kindly, maybe, oh my dear, but no. I know you want to do this, but not this time. And slowly, in a way, building this connection of almost like reparenting ourselves, as some people would like to think of it. We have so many naughty children, inside some parts of us. And let's do that 2 more times. And now taking a moment to just bring your hands again momentarily in front of the belly. And then we're going to do one more thing, gathering from the earth and sky. Hand moves will slightly be different. Watch out for your position. Belly again, maybe, or the pelvis is in neutral position, so pubic bone is lifted slightly, tailbone is under. Your feet can be closer. If as you start to move, notice if this doesn't feel right, bring your feet closer. So for this one, hands will go more like a scooping from the earth all the way up. Both of those are inhale, up from the sky. And then as you exhale, you imagine whatever you are gathering from around you, earth and sky, and then you bring them close as if you are taking all those things to your bones. This is called bone marrow washing also. So scooping, inhaling from the earth, from the sky, all around, and anything that's going to kind of help or support you, strengthen you, taking it in. Imagine, do the exhalation especially slowly, and imagine this energy that you are in a way collecting with your hands. You're taking in a kind of energetic level to your bones, from your head all the way to your spine and all the way down, almost like towards your toes. So that's the move, and the level of squat again is up to you. You can go all the way down, or maybe just tiny bit of a squat, but imagine your hands are really sinking down, almost like touching to the earth. And those of you who would like to go all the way, maybe you can bring your hands all the way down, even almost like gather from the earth. Take it up, full inhale, and then as you exhale, feel the energy from your hands, palms, coming into the body. Let's do that 2 more times. Imagine, because bone marrow is, in a way, our like innermost part. So we are working with that level as we imagine we are gathering, collecting. And all this imagination stuff, some people may not like it. And I'm kind of in between, because I've seen the benefits, even though it feels a bit like, what are we really exactly doing? But I know, on the other hand, that mind and body are so connected, and there is such an interesting interplay between them. And we never know, maybe it will work. So bring your hands into your belly, and now slowly just release your hands onto your hips and bring your feet closer. And knees are not bent, so you're just like in normal position. Now changing into Tadasana, mountain pose. So take a moment, this is from yoga, those of you who are not familiar with, bring your feet parallel to each other, about hip bone width apart. So have your ankles right under your knees, and knees are right under the hip bone. So have that sense of alignment. A lot of times we're not aware if the foot is this way, that way, or kind of, it could be in different positions. So just make sure that they are parallel to each other. And find a little bit of a neutral position for your pelvis again. So the pelvic bone is slightly lifted, it's not big, but a lot of times we are standing like that and we're not aware. So finding just neutral position. Feel the spine upright. Your hands are by your side. Palms can turn front, back, side, whatever, doesn't matter. But feel a sense of inner lift now, and a sense of connection. Your toes are wide open. Feel this point that we massaged at the beginning, almost like right under the balls of your feet, pressing it down. And now slowly, when you are ready, feel that point again, the kidney point as much as possible, and lift your heels. And you can just stay here maybe, or if the arms feel kind of okay, you can lift up, or maybe stay in the cactus, or maybe open wide. And I'm feeling my heels are kind of, they want to go down, 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 lifting, 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 lifting. And as you exhale, slowly release and find again your Tadasana, mountain pose. And feel yourself upright, aware, a sense of connectedness with the earth underneath, sky above, and everything else around us. And slowly release if you're more like in an engaged position. And then when we do all of these kind of earth-related things, we gotta add the tree pose from yoga. So those of you who are familiar with it, we can do in different versions. You can even use a chair, or if you are maybe close to a wall, you can also get support from the wall, especially if the balance is challenging, because this is gonna be like one-legged stance. So to begin with, just find one foot, very active, engaged, really widespread, and then the other foot is relatively empty, or like fully empty, it's already up. But if you think that the balance would be challenging, you can use a yoga block or without a block. Maybe I'll just put the block to the side, but bring your foot, maybe heel pressing around the area, around the ankle, but feel your weight shifted into this leg. This foot is on the ground, but there's like not much foot other than kind of getting this balance. And as I said, you can use a chair in front of you. My chair is on that side, so I'm kind of lazy to bring it here. But, or maybe if you are close to a wall, you can start to use that place as a support. Or your leg may be below the knee, around the calf muscles area, shin bones, or maybe above somewhere if things are feeling okay. And I have carpet underneath here, so balance is very tricky. If you have wood floor, it's going to be easy. So I'm just going to keep my foot down as well. And as you find this sense of now weight is in just one leg, it's going to be a lot of work for the leg. Can you now bring your hands into this ring finger touching position? And your hands can be just open out to the side, or maybe reaching up like a tree, as if like your branches are opening out to the side. Keep the belly engaged, spine upright, and you can even try to close your eyes and see what happens. I know it gets very tricky, so you don't need to go there, but have a sense of yourself really connected to the earth, but at the same time opening up to the sky with this earth's energy, finding a sense of really big spaciousness around the heart and chest. If your arms are open out to the side, is also perfectly fine, but just finding this connection or the touch between the thumb and the ring finger. And breathe. Maybe do 3 nice full breaths with full awareness, becoming aware of your in breath and then aware of your out breath. One last time. And as you exhale, slowly release the hands and release the foot position. And then just see the sensations. Maybe one leg is feeling very active. Things are really flowing there in the joints, in the muscles. And we're going to do the same thing. Again, finding your strong foot, opening the toes wide. Feel almost like 4 corners of your feet very active. Even like you lift, before you lift that foot, feel the sense of, oh yeah, I can really kind of stay stable here. If things don't feel stable, get support. Just go close to a table or maybe a wall or something. And then slowly decide however you would like to hold your foot. If it is on the ground, perfectly fine, don't worry about it. And then when you are ready, again, the hands come into this earth mudra, mudra. Either the cactus arms or maybe reaching up. And whichever position you are choosing with the arms is fine, but make sure that the pubic bone is like slightly lifted or the pelvis is still in its neutral position. And you're not overarching or either with the chest reaching too much forward. But let's have a sense of grounded awareness of this present moment, this shakiness maybe, or this uncertainty or this effort. Really just become aware of like whatever is going on. If there's any inner judgment also, become aware of that too. We tend to do that a lot, you know, as you are breathing here. Now make it 3 nice intentional breaths. And feel this wobbliness. Last one full last breath. And then as you transition, do it slowly. Feel the change that's happening in the hands, in the arms, and then release the leg. And take a moment again to bring one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest. And connect with this moment, your experience, your sensations right under your feet, or the heartbeat, or the kind of body heat, whatever you have that feels kind of accessible. And as you exhale, slowly release. And then from here, we're going to go down. So when you are ready, maybe reaching forward with the hands. And as we slowly prepare to come down, I should just remove my block, or maybe I'll turn this way as well. And then slowly, as you bend your knees, maybe tapping into this Utkatasana chair pose and then remembering the effort, but we're not going to go there. So as you come down, just take a moment to move side to side, maybe again becoming aware of this kidney point or the bubbling spring point, the connection with the earth point, just like side to side a few times, almost a bit of a kind of a stretch for the hip joint area. And then when you are ready, drop your hips down, and then all the way down from here, we're going to come down. So you can slowly grab the back of your thighs, and then bring yourself down. As you come down, roll your knees towards your chest and give yourself a nice hug. Just take a moment maybe to almost like acclimate this place, this different position compared to all the other things that we have done. We spent a lot of time standing. First rocking side to side, and then have your hands on the kneecaps and start to make circles, moving one side and then the other, taking nice full breaths and sighing it out if it feels right. But feel this simple movement, the points touching on your low back, sides,
tailbone area. Reverse the circle if you haven't done it already. And let these sensations be almost like a massage into that area. If there was any tightness or sometimes SI joint issues, many of us suffer from kind of low back related issues because we sit for too long. So just let those areas to be massaged. And then slowly drop your feet down, staying here. Open your legs again relatively wide, and with your hands reach up towards the sky and grab opposite elbow with opposite hand. Feel your spine on the ground, and we're gonna do just like a simple legs and arms moving in opposite side, windshield wiper kind of movement. So inhale here while everything is towards the center. And as you exhale, drop your knees to one side and gently draw your elbows to the opposite side. This is not like a big, strong move. You're just letting your arms dangle, and as well as the legs. And if this doesn't feel right for any reason for your shoulder area, you can just have your hands above the head and just like move them in the opposite direction. When the knees move to one side, your hands are moving in the opposite direction. So that's just like 1 or 2 more times each side. And then if it feels right, just choose to stay maybe on one side. Knees and elbows are moving in opposite directions, and you're just taking a few moments to almost like stretch your mostly front body and the back, low back area as well. Gently stretching diagonally. Taking nice full breaths here. And slowly shift your legs to the other side, your arms also, if they are up overhead, just move them to the other side, or if they are still around the chest area, let them drop to the opposite side. Breathe in and out. Gradually bring everything to the center, and before we go to final relaxation pose, if there is anything that your body would like to do right now, you can go ahead and do that. Maybe you want to do a twist, or maybe something else, maybe this happy baby pose where you lift your legs up towards the ceiling and maybe grab the sides of your feet, or maybe just straight legs up against the ceiling. Just taking a few moments. Again, checking it with your own body. If you think that this was kind of all you need today, it's perfectly fine. And you can slowly bring yourself into shavasana. Just taking a few moments, no rush, but just have this sense of checking in internally and then noticing if the body feels like, oh, okay, I can go. I can just go and relax. But if there was anything that's kind of nagging you, or the body is not feeling exactly like, oh, this is just like not enough, I want to do one more. So just checking in and then doing that. And slowly bringing yourself to shavasana. Final relaxation pose. Have your legs and arms equidistant from the center as much as possible. Opening your arms maybe and the feet about like 45-degree angle. And maybe turning your palms up towards the sky if it feels right. If your hands are kind of turning inward, a lot of times that's what happens. Maybe draw your shoulder blades at the back closer towards each other so chest stays open and arms open to the side. And for your neck, have it long, but tilt your chin towards your chest a little bit. So don't look up towards the sky and create extra arch for your neck, but take the chin closer towards the chest. This will stretch the neck, size of your neck, but it's good for parasympathetic nervous system activation. So it's going to help you to relax a little bit more. And as you are resting here, eyes closed possibly, become aware of all the points of the body touching to the ground. Feel the heels
back of the legs, buttocks, and different parts of the body, maybe shoulder area, middle back, back of the head. And feel all these points, the contact points, getting almost like heavier or wider as you keep relaxing with a sense of melting down. And as you're doing that, feel the support underneath. There is something, right? There is really Mother Earth holding us in her hands. So take a moment to really feel that connection and the support from the earth. Like literally, you are feeling the sensations, but there's so much support actually coming from the earth. So allow yourself just kind of feel held and grounded. In a very, very deep, deep, deep level, this connection is already there. Mother Earth supporting us. So just enjoy and savor in a way the support that's already there. And slowly start to feel the breath again in your nostrils. Taking the air again from the nature around us, like a gift maybe. Allowing the breath to be deeper and slower. And bringing some activity to your toes, your fingers wiggling, maybe wrists and ankles starting to circle. If it feels good, you can come into like a whole body stretch, taking the arms up overhead, lengthen, 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 and maybe make a circle with your arms and draw your knees towards your chest. And give yourself a nice hug. Just take a moment to maybe rock side to side. And if you like, turn towards your left side. Stay there maybe for 1 or 2 breaths in fetal position. And feel the transition as we kind of move out of this very personal practice. When you are ready, press your hands down to lift yourself up. And find a moment again to close the practice, to almost like take in all the energies that have been created and maybe inner awareness that was built. Take a moment to almost like integrate or digest all of this, or like allow your nervous system to process this actually, or the mind also become aware like, oh, we did this practice and that's how I'm kind of feeling, that's how my mood is right now. Just taking a moment to become very aware. And at the end, when you're ready, you can bring your hands in front of the heart, and as the palms touch, bringing chin to the chest to bow to the light within. Namaste, everyone. Have a great, happy birthday.